Fight and Talk back again, and today I'm delighted to say once again I'm joined by Jake Hadley, now ahead of his title fight against Luke Shanks as part of the Trinity Strikes Back. I mean, Jake, you told us that you were going to put Sadge away in style and then the title shot would be on the line, and I mean, it's exactly what happened. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good, man. I've just been, training, as normal straight after the fight. I mean, I knocked Sadge out, and then, funny enough, in the arena, in the BEC arena in Manchester, there's actually a weights room in the arena. Funny enough, madness in it. There's actually a weights room in the arena, right behind my warm-up area, my changing room. Like, there's a weights room. So me and my training partner Ryan, we went in the back and just banged a bit of chest and tricep straight after the fight, man. So I didn't even catch Luke's fight after mine. I was banging weights whilst his fight was happening. So yeah.
If we do look at that Sadge fight, how do you sort of assess your performance in then? Was that the fight you were expecting from Sadge?
Yeah, that's what I expected it to go, just like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just expected it to go like. I thought eventually I was gonna catch him with that shot, because he made some errors in fights before what I'd seen, and we trained for him to do exactly what he did, and that's get booted in the head. So we trained for that. So that's what I expected.
I mean, it was your first fight of this multi-fight deal with Cage Warriors. How was your sort of first fight experience with the promotion?
Yeah, man, it was good. Obviously it's a bit unusual, isn't it? These times of being in the hotel on a Monday, fighting on a Thursday, all the quarantining, 24-hour quarantine, and all that sort of stuff. So it was a bit unusual, but yeah, it was good. It just felt normal. You know what I mean? Obviously, co-main event, first fight on Cage Warriors, co-main event, but it just felt natural. I've already been fighting on big shows before and been the main event, and fought for world titles and done big things before. So it just felt normal. Actually, it felt like a lot of the fighters there didn't know what they was doing. I was watching like people like the other flyweights on the card, and I'm thinking, bro, why are you doing that? Like, bro, you're fighting in a couple of days, bro. Relax. Like, I can't believe that they was doing. Like, we was having laughs and jokes about him behind the back. The only geezer who looked actually professional was actually Sadge. I was thinking, all right, he's got the right idea. He knows what he's doing. The rest, I was thinking, bro, what are these guys doing, man? They look like amateurs. You know what I mean?
So what was it that they were doing? Could you sort of share that with us?
Just like mad, like circuit training and shit. Like 2 days before the fight, I'm like thinking, bro, what are these geezers doing? And I don't know. They're just doing mad stuff. Like, I mean, he was like the champion, fucking Fadine. He was training about fucking doing mad amounts of weird training, and then he weighed in like two pounds underweight. I'm like, bro, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man, madness.
If we look forward now, of course, it is a title fight. It is against Luke Shanks. You did say the last time we spoke, amongst other things, that you did think Luke could beat Fadine. I know you said that you didn't watch it on the night, but have you had the chance to watch Luke's fight since, and what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, obviously I've watched the fight. We have to watch the opponent's fights because obviously for studying and whatever. So I've watched it. It is very hard to fight to watch, as in it's very boring. And without putting him down too much, the skill level is absolutely horrendous. Like, so it's a hard fight to watch. But I have watched it. It was a decent performance. I mean, he held the guy down who's got no jiu-jitsu, no wrestling defense, and he's 2 times smaller than him. He held him on the floor and beat him up with like wanking style punches and that. Like, I don't know what he was. It was a good performance. He won the fight. Fair play to him. He is the champ of Cage Warriors now. I only think really he's the champ of Cage Warriors because Cage Warriors flyweight division's has been a bit slim. They're only started to pick up now. So that's why Fadine was the champion in the first place. it wasn't. It wasn't. I weren't impressed. Just put it like that. I weren't impressed. But fair play.
Is that the sort of fight you're expecting from him again? When he faces you, are you expecting him to try and take you down, or what sort of fight are you expecting?
Well, Luke, I've meant to fight Luke before in the past in the amateur days. He's always fought the same sort of way. You know what I mean? He always wants to like lie on his opponents and grapple in it. So that's what I expect, especially once I start hitting him, because he's scared of a smack anyway. You know, he's a bit of a gun shy guy anyway. So when I start touching him up, he's going to be looking to grapple. The best grappler in the flyweight division. So, you know what I mean? On paper, it's Dominic really to try to grapple me, but that's exactly what he's going to try to do. We all know that anyway. He's already basically gone on and said that's what he's going to try to do. He gives away his game plan anyway, so we already know what he's about. So we're just getting prepped for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Cage Warriors tweeted out a video the other day about can Jake survive the apocalypse, and you'd shared it and said that it won't be going to the judges. The judges won't be needed for that one. Can we expect to see another finish from you?
Yeah, you can expect to see a finish. There's no way this man can go 5 rounds with me. No way. I'd be surprised if he gets past 2 rounds. I'm better than him in every aspect of the game: striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. You know, so I expect to finish, whether that's a knockout or a submission. I'm gonna finish him. And it's going to be violent, to be honest.
I know, of course, you won't be looking past this fight, but if you do get your hand raised, I mean, we've seen several people now getting that champ status on Cage Warriors. Would a move up to bantamweight if you do beat Luke be something that you look at for a title shot at Cartwright?
Not really. Now, I mean, you got to start paying me like real high amounts of money for me to be thinking about moving up to bantamweight and fighting for the bantamweight belt. But I expect to get to the UFC. You know, what else do I have to do? I've already beat 2 world champions, and I've beat Sajak, who's considered one of the best of all time in European flyweight division. And now when I beat Shanks and get my 2nd world title, beat 3 world champions, and I finish him the way I'm going to finish him, there'll be no. If I don't go to the UFC after that, there's literally no hope for anyone, and everyone might as well retire, because you're not going to the UFC ever. Anyone. Saying that, I'm seeing guys who are on contender series flyweights and stuff like that who are like 6-3. The biggest winning is a guy who's 3-2, and then crap. Like, so, I mean, what do I have to do? I mean, do I have to pad my record up with bums? You know, like other fighters are doing. I mean, come on. I'm fighting the best geezers out here, and I'm finishing them or dominating them spectacularly. You know what I mean? So there's nothing else I can do after this fight. You know what I mean? I'll probably won't fight until I get the offer. I'll refuse to fight until I get the offer from the UFC, because the thing is listen, what more do I have to do? How many of these boys do I got to kill before you realise who's the man? You know what I mean? Like, I'm the man, so I expect to get to the UFC, and I'll be honoured to go fight in the UFC and bang all them boys as well.
How frustrating is that for you to be fighting the caliber of fighter that you're fighting for the likes of the UFC not to have came in a little bit sooner?
Well, that's the thing, innit? You know what I mean? They should have already been calling, you know what I mean? Even I talk all this shit about Shanks or whatever. Well, I don't really talk shit. I just talk my opinion of him. But I think Shanks can win fights in the UFC. You know what I mean? He can win some fights in the UFC. It's a shame for the poor kid. You know, he's only a young lad. He's only a young whippersnapper. But it's a shame for the young lad, because I'm going to end his career. You know what I mean? So in a way, you know, Dana's done him a bad one there, because he could have already been there and been fighting nice fights in the UFC. But now I'm going to end his career, like I ended Sajis, like I ended Zulus. You know what I mean? So, you know, these are fighters what you could have had fighting exciting fights in the UFC. Imagine Zulu Boy in the UFC, you know, knocking people out the way he used to knock people out before. You know what I mean? But now you've put him in my way, and I've had to smash him. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Just how much of a gulf of sort of skill set do you see there being between Luke Shanks and yourself?
What did you say? Sorry.
Like, how much of a gulf in sort of skill like how much of a gap in skill do you think there is from Luke Shanks to yourself? Like, how much better do you see yourself being than Luke?
Ugh. My like I don't even think that's a legit question. I mean, anyone who knows fighting can watch tape and say, "Oh well, look at Luke and then look at me." You know what I mean? Just put his fights on, then put my fights on. I mean, I don't need to break down his skill set, do I? But he's like a pub brawler, and he's like a pub swinger. You know what I mean? He's got just as much chance as winning a fight as Bill from down the pub. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a pub swinger. Like, obviously he's got some certain skills. Everyone's got certain skills he's pretty good at, but everything's a bit wild. I mean, he's a bit mad, and he's a bit wild. I don't know, man. He ain't nowhere near my level. That's all I can say about it.
Finally, Jake, for fight fans who maybe haven't seen yourself or Luke fight before, what can they expect to see when you two meet in the cage?
What can they expect to see? They can expect to see just a dominating performance by me. We're just gonna dominate him, just gonna beat the life out of him. He's quitting fights before. Elliot Hyde made him quit before, so if he's quitting against him, he's gonna definitely quit against me. He's gonna get hurt up bad. He's gonna get punched up. I think it's gonna be a good pre-fight building of the fight. You know what I mean? He's gonna come there, try talk shit. You know what he's like, fucking with his mask and all that bollocks he puts on. It's gonna be a big build up to the fight, which I'm excited for. Big main event. But the fight itself, I'm prepping for an hard fight, training for an hard fight, bringing in fresh sparring partners every round, sparring fucking the top geezers in the country, one after the other, one guy in, the next guy in, the next guy in. I'm prepping for an hard fight, training mad amounts of training 3 times a day, 6 days a week. I'm prepped for an hard fight, but I'm gonna go in there, just totally dominate this geezer, and he ain't getting past 2 rounds. I'll give him 2 rounds.
Perfect. Jake, thank you very much for your time today, mate.
Thanks. Nice one, mate.
Thank you.